Alrighty, guys, good evening. Do an audio check here. Get this rocking and rolling. Let me know in chat if you can hear me. We're going to get started once I get a few thumbs up here. Gonna do an audio check on my end. We're going to get started once I... Alright, perfect. Alright, this is going to be a weekly weather stream here at IWO and also ISCN. We're going to talk about the week of weather ahead, what's in store for Indiana, what's not in store for Indiana, all that good jazz coming your way here in the next 5 or 10 minutes. If you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm going to go through about a 5, maybe a 10-minute spiel about how the week's going to play out, and then at the end of that will be some Q&A if you guys have any questions. So go ahead and do me a favor, hit that like button and let me know where you're watching from. Go ahead and kick off the chat here. What's up, Amy? What's up, Jim? What's up, Julie? Good to see you in here. Let's go ahead and get started here. So currently across Indiana, we have rain and a lot of rain and a lot of rain. So current radar across the state, we have rain kind of circling around. That's because we have a low pressure system sitting over basically the center of Ohio, Indiana area. All this stuff is rotating around this low pressure, keeping us cold, keeping us rainy and dreary. So off and on rain will continue throughout tonight for scattered areas across the state. Also will continue into tomorrow. Here's tomorrow, Monday. We have another round of perhaps some showers and storms here. This is Monday afternoon. We have popcorn showers, as I like to call them, little sporadic pop-up showers. Notice how they're kind of isolated, scattered in nature. So not everybody's going to see, a lot of rain tomorrow, but it'll be just enough here to kind of keep us in like this kind of rain off and on type of pattern, that kind of mentality tomorrow. We also could see a storm or two. Looking at the latest model here up by the Fort Wayne area. For our friends in Western Ohio toward Defiance or perhaps down toward the Findlay area, we could see some rain, perhaps some storms there that could be on the noisier side for the afternoon tomorrow. Those may push into the Fort Wayne, perhaps a Huntington area, but overall those should not be strong or severe in nature, just more of a disruption and be like a noisemaker for us for the northern half of the state. So as that kind of moves out and kind of moves into Monday night into Tuesday, that low pressure stationary starts swinging around the precip on the backside. So that gives us more chances of rain for, guess what, Tuesday as well, but more so tied to the north and to the eastern half of the state there from about that Richmond area up toward Fort Wayne, Angola area. So rain to start your Tuesday. And as that rain moves out for Tuesday afternoon, that is going to mark the start of a much more pleasant pattern for us. Looking at the temperature forecast here based in Indianapolis, notice the next couple of days here on the colder side. Sunday on the left side of your screen, Monday's a second bar in there, so 60 degrees tomorrow. This is based on Indianapolis. We're going to see a sharp rise into the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. It's going to stay consistent throughout there. So we're talking upper 60s and low 70s past that Tuesday time frame, and especially as we get toward next weekend, we're looking at 72 here, 69 to start next week. Though a warming trend is going to take place. We could be looking at mid to upper 70s and likely low 80s here into the middle part of next week. So that's good news for all of our spring and summer lovers here. But the bad news is we're going to have a couple more days here of this colder, rainy, dreary conditions here. The good news also with the upcoming week is likely we're not going to have any severe weather to talk about much at all. Going into the long term here, the European model, this is going to be the precip depiction here throughout the week. There's our rain on Tuesday. That's going to move out. Here comes some drier conditions, perhaps a passing shower further south there for Wednesday for the Evansville area, Corydon areas, if you're down south really close to the Ohio borders. Wednesday should be dry for 90% of all of us here in the state. Thursday, similar story here. Again, could see a couple rain showers very far south of close to the Ohio River Valley there. But overall, the broad majority of us, 80-90% of Indiana stays dry there. A dry Friday in store there and a dry weekend here before some more rain chances perhaps could move in there for the weekend. Overall, looking like a lower chance for that happening as of this point. If that does change, we'll let you guys know. But overall, get through the first 2 days here, Monday, Tuesday, on the wetter side. Pleasant Wednesday, pleasant Thursday, pleasant Friday, likely a pleasant Saturday on tap before next week comes in, and perhaps some more rain chances as well. But overall, rain chances this week will be tied very far south Indiana, close to that Ohio border. So if you live in Evansville or Corydon areas, you guys have those rain chances. Otherwise, you guys should be A-okay with ideal conditions, minimal wind, no severe weather, and no snow if you're still hoping for snow. So overall, very pleasant week upcoming. Going into long term as well, we talked about those temperatures warming into the mid-month time frame. The latest guidance here from the Climate Prediction Center, the CPC, shows Indiana in above average temperatures here between that May 12th, May 18th time frame. That trend continues into late month, above average probabilities here for above average temperatures for the entire state of Indiana, May 17th to May 30th. So what we're seeing here is that trend of warmer conditions is starting to trend more likely and likely throughout the next 20 to 30 days, if not into June. So we're going to be in that pattern for quite some time here. So I can end that by saying, if you're still waiting to plant your gardens, I would say you're going to be okay to do that after this weekend. We have one day we're going to watch further north here. We could see upper 30s for low temperatures there. That's going to be Friday of this upcoming week. That's really the last day that I see here for temperatures that could be borderline frost potential. Overall, though, I think you're going to be safe to plant your gardens. If you want to be safe, I'd wait until probably the weekend to do it. And that's it. After that, we're looking at temperatures there for lows and the blue bars there. 47 for low, 52, 57, 64, 64, 64, 63. Like, it's not, after this weekend, it's not really showing us any cold temperatures coming back in. And that does extend into the long-term period. So if you're waiting to plant your garden still, I would say wait until Friday, Saturday to do it. You should be good after that point to do so. In terms of precipitation, we're looking at below average precipitation here throughout the mid-month time frame. We're seeing below average contours here from the CPC. An active spring has been nonstop relentless for us, for rain, for severe weather, storms. We're getting a break from that here, it appears to be, between the mid-month time frame, perhaps even late month as well. Not to say we're not going to get rain and storms throughout the time period, but in terms of the amounts of rain and the amount of activity we're going to see, it did look to be a pretty active spring. It was an active spring, and then all of a sudden we're going to hit the brakes here. Probably going to be in a much quieter pattern overall, but still have those occasional rain and storm, as well as severe weather chances, just kind of sporadic throughout the last half of the month here. In terms of the drought conditions, this is the final note I'm going to talk about. So if you guys got questions, feel free to drop them in chat here. I'll take your questions momentarily. But in terms of drought conditions across the state, technically we're not in a drought anywhere in Indiana, but we do have areas that are abnormally dry there from about Lafayette over to about Kokomo. The yellow shaded areas were abnormally dry. Good news is we're not going into the summertime frame within a drought, but we could very well get to that point if we're going to trend drier overall. So cross your fingers and hope it doesn't get to that point. But overall, we're going to be looking at much more pleasant conditions across the state. But if that hangs on too long, that's when we start talking and worrying about a drought moving back in for portions of the state. But right now, no concern. All right. With that being said, feel free to pop in chat with your questions. If no questions are had, I will pop out of here. Again, this is our Sunday night weekly live stream. We're going to be doing this every Sunday, planning at 8 p.m. every Sunday Eastern time. If you guys have questions or concerns about the upcoming week, feel free to pop in here every Sunday at 8 p.m. and I'll be here to answer your questions. Or Caleb or Joel, one of the team members, will be on here streaming, bring you the forecast as well as answering questions as they come in. John says hi from Greenwood. Tommy says, hey, Ryan, thanks for the updates through the network. Appreciate you, Tommy. Great news for us, says Jennifer. That is great news, Jennifer. We're getting a break here. Not to say we're going to get, no rain at all the next 15 days, but it'll be slower. It'll be much slower. Jennifer says Dearborn County. Dearborn County has been an area we have monitored several times this past week for storms. I don't know how many times I've had to keep my eye on Dearborn counties down there close to that Kentucky border area, Ohio border. It's been an active week for you guys down there. Dina says Summer, Illinois. Got an Illinois viewer in here. Thanks for tuning in there, Dina. Appreciate you. I don't see any questions here, guys, so I'll give it about 10, 15 more seconds. If no more questions come in, I'm going to hop out of here and let you guys enjoy your week. But if you guys have questions about us as a team or the weather or anything in general, feel free to pop it in chat here. I'm at your disposal here. if you have them. Alrighty. I do not see any questions, which is good news. Hopefully I explained everything efficiently enough so you guys understood it. Recap really quickly. A little bit more dry conditions on tap here for Wednesday and beyond. We got to get through Monday and Tuesday first, off and on rain chances, perhaps a storm for the Fort Wayne general area further north and east. But after we get into that Wednesday time period, much more pleasant conditions arrive with temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s, drier conditions. Rain chances exist further south, close to the Ohio Valley, Ohio River, should I say, for like Evansville, Corydon areas. Other than those areas in specific, the entire state looks to be much drier and much more pleasant this week and to end our weekend. And we could see a return of rain chances for the weekend, but overall, it is turning dry right now. If that changes, I'll let you guys know. Thank you, John. We do need to break. That's for sure. All right, I'm going to pop out of here. You guys enjoy your week. If you guys have questions still, feel free to pop them in chat. I'll be here answering them after the stream is over. And also feel free to message the page as well. The messenger is open. We answer pretty quickly, I had to imagine. So feel free to ask us questions in DMs if you have some. I do see a question here from Ricky. When is it going to warm up? And the answer, Ricky, is looking at the mid-month time frame. Look at the May 14th time frame. In specific, here's your graph here based in the Indianapolis area. We're going to start climbing upwards into the low 80s here, especially as we get toward that mid-month time frame. May 12th, May 13th, May 14th. Start looking for the temperatures to increase into the 80s around that time frame. So hopefully that answers your question there. In terms of warming up, if you're talking like 60, 70 degrees, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to return those back to the forecast here. But if you're talking like the 80s and 90s, look for that mid-month time frame for your answer. All right, I'm going to pop out of here. You guys enjoy your evening. I'll catch you guys next week, and hopefully not this week for severe coverage. But if that is the case, we'll see you guys on Sunday at 8 p.m. for our next weekly live stream. You guys enjoy your evening.